What's happening, Wargamers? Welcome to the After Action Report for Winter Guard versus Defenders with Trevor from the Game Bridge community. Are you part of the Lovable Misfits or?
Yeah. I'm with the London guys too. I don't have the tag, but I hang out with them too.
Yeah, there you go. So right off the bat, I want to say, Trevor, you took this one on the chin and you handled it like a gentleman.
I did my best.
You really did. Like I know personally, I've been on the receiving end of games like this, and I've gotten tilted myself, and you handled it really well, for all things considered, because like especially in the late game, the dice really started working against you.
It do be like that sometimes.
And it was this weird momentum shift that kind of happened around, I think it was around at the middle point of round 3.
Yeah.
Right? Because like going into round 3, you had wounded, or you had injured pretty much everyone on my team, I think, except for Sable.
Yeah.
And I was in a rough spot. And I got a couple really lucky breaks there, like Guardian not going down to the Iron Fist was huge for me. Bucky living as long as he did. Dynamo just not doing anything. So like it was one of those things where I got some really lucky breaks there and allowed me to kind of shift momentum.
I think your heaviest attrition piece, Taskmaster.
Oh my goodness, Taskmaster showed up like a boss in this game. Because like what he injured Pete, I think.
Yep.
And I think he injured Daredevil as well.
Yep.
Then he got somebody else. Like he did a lot. Like mnemonic technique, when you get the chance to use it, wow. Like I got new respect for Taskmaster. I got to use him more. He's actually really cool. Red Guardian aside, like he took hits like he's supposed to. Didn't put in a lot of damage. But that's fine. Dynamo did what he's absolutely supposed to do. Like everyone on my team kind of showed up and did a job.
Yeah,
which I think is really good. Meanwhile, on your team, I think Shang-Chi kind of failed to pull some of his weight up until the very end there.
Yeah,
and that's a hard one to come back from. Like that was rough. When you have a model that's just kind of not rolling what you need to roll, not being able to like perform how it needs to perform, it becomes kind of a rough deal with it. Would you have made any alterations to your roster or your squad in this case? Like knowing what you know now?
I would probably drop Moon Knight. I've used him a couple games, and you want to get him close because like he has a lot of tech to keep him far away, but he also has close combat. But it drops like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, I guess that's the other catch right there. Like Moon Knight went down really fast.
Yeah,
I think you got 2 activations with Moon Knight.
Yes.
Because I took him in round 1, I think.
Yep.
And then round 2, I think he was gone by round 2.
Board, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, round 2 was still a very good round for you, but we started seeing the momentum shift a little bit. Like losing an activation was huge.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just able to leverage it. I also want to say, I think like the unsung thing that really kind of broke you on this one is every time you tried to move Crimson Dynamo around, his leadership was just like, nah.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to happen. I've never had his thing work that good for me, which is absolutely insane. Every time you tried to push him, he's just, nah, I'm firmly rooted in here. I'm not going anywhere. And that was incredible. All in all, yeah, like it's really hard to see where this one went, because I do think you battled the dice just as much as anything else.
Yeah. And
unfortunately, like a couple attack rolls going just a little bit differently for you, I think would have made for a very different game in your favor. I had, at the very end there, I had some hope that you were pulling back a little bit. Like, I think I was constantly worried that you were going to take out Guardian at any time.
You always activate him first, so it was like one of those things like, do I take him out now or do I wait till the top of the next round and then deny you an activation? But you always went with him first, so it was like, okay, well, I don't need to worry about him now, and then focus on the other stuff to try to mitigate that. But again, a lot of it was dice.
Yeah. The dice definitely played a really big story on this particular game here.
But can we talk about how great Corebox Pete did for this game? Because
we're gonna do that. Eh?
We're gonna do that. You know,
okay, I feel like I owe you. Okay.
So, yeah. Because like you try to kill him how many times, and like other than the mnemonic technique attack, like he was getting his rerolls, he was getting his stuff, he's pulling people off points. The only thing that I think he still needs maybe a 4 defense, but he did work in this game.
You know what? I'm generally pretty down on Core Pete, but yes, you are correct. In this particular game, he showed up. He took a lot more punches than I wanted to put into him, and I had to, because he just had this. He does have a great ability to rearrange the board.
Yes.
Between his web line, between his character and terrain throw, like he really can rearrange the board, and it's not to be understated. If he has the power to do so, like that can actually be a really big impact. And I was constantly trying to work around that and make sure that that you couldn't do that to me, right? So yeah, like your inclusion of Pete in this one actually was a really good sense of control for you. Like he didn't do a lot of control, but that was because I made sure.
Well, the points that I went to is when your leadership popped off.
Yeah, and the entire time, like it's like, okay, well, I would much rather go after like Shang-Chi or Iron Fist, because there was a couple rounds in which both Iron Fist and Moon Knight were like very low on health.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, no, Pete's going to rearrange everything, so until he goes, I'm punching him.
Yeah.
And then when you moved him over here, it's like, okay, well, I got to work extra hard for it as well. Like Pete made me work for this. Like no lie, yeah. And you're a champion of him, so
I am.
You're quite pleased about that, which is very good. Yeah, he performed really well. I definitely got to give him props for that. We're almost a year in on Daredevil's new leadership. How are you feeling about that?
It's great. Like sometimes, especially in this game. So like a lot of times where I could have used it, I had skulls, I had fails. I'm like I can't even reroll the dice if I wanted to. So that was the only thing that kind of hurt me, where like X-Force can reroll the skulls. Yeah,
that is fair.
But being able to use it on the clapback turns on your turn as well, it's really strong.
Yeah, no, it's definitely really solid, and like you actually had a really good shot back here when it was like Daredevil and Moon Knight, or not Moon Knight, Taskmaster. Like you had a good shot of taking Taskmaster out there, because I mean I attacked you twice on my turn, and you attacked me twice on my turn, giving Daredevil a bunch of extra attacks there. Yeah. And that was big because I think you left Taskmaster on like 1 or 2.
Yeah, and then you had to patch him up.
I had to patch him up, yeah. Which I saw the little defeated look in your face on that one that I have shared many times when the patch up happens.
Yeah.
It is a rough one. I firmly believe patch up should not be in this game, but that is a soapbox for another day, I think.
I'd almost argue bring back med packs is just a
Thank you.
free and drop patch up.
Thank you. I have been making that argument for so long. Good. I have allies with that one. That makes me happy. Because, yes, I agree. I think it should be mid-pack, not patch-up.
Yeah.
I know people have argued, well, patch-up has the variable cost, so it can be harder to pull off. But how often are you really getting the whole 5 on that one? It's usually 3 or 4, right?
The only time the 5 comes in handy is if you're playing a Hulk or She-Hulk.
Exactly. If you have somebody with a large health pool or something like that. So, yes, thank you. There we go. We will start the crusade. Med-pack instead of patch-up. I would love that a lot more. So, well, anyway, there we go. Trevor, you are an excellent guest, man. I always look forward to games with you, and I know the dice were kind of rough to you on this one, but you'll come back refreshed with a fresh outlook on everything and kick my teeth in, because that's what tends to happen. So
far, our track record is you've won all 3 games we've played, but it's coming.
It's coming. It's coming. The problem is you keep giving me after I've had my teeth kicked in by a bunch of people, so I'm due for some good luck.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's what keeps happening. But yeah, we will gladly have you back on. You're always a great guy to have around, and you're just a great member of the community.
Well, thank you.
You're doing lots of great stuff out in Cambridge there. So if you're out in that area of Ontario, around Cambridge, Waterloo, Kitchener, all that sort of stuff, be sure to go give some love to Trevor and Cambridge there. And we will see you guys next time. Happy wargaming. Before I forget, and I'm adding this on at the very end here, Trevor, you're also involved with something happening in October. Do you want to plug
November?
It's November. That's right. It's November.
Yeah, it's the second Saturday of November. Is the 8th, 9th, 7th, 8th, 9th, that weekend.
It's the second weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a charity event that I've been brought on to help host, called Battle for Breath. All proceeds from the event go to support
Cystic Fibrosis
Canada for research. Right now, this event is also an LVO points event. So if you come in first, you get enough points to qualify for the LVO. But yeah, it's a charity event. There's raffles that you can buy tickets for. There's usually lunch provided. I think it's usually pizza. And yeah, it's just a great couple days of gaming.
Yeah, good time, good people. Now, from what I understand, it is currently full up, but if it's something you're interested, get on that waiting list fast.
Yes.
And you might have a great time. And I'm going to try and make it out there for myself. And a lot of Ontario guys are going to show up for it, and so it's going to be a good time. But I wanted to give you a chance to kind of plug that because I think that's a great cause. So yeah. And with that, we will see you guys next time. Happy wargaming.